our next assembly all about amazing bodies. My name is Jess and it's great to have you with us today. We're going to be thinking about amazing ears. Now, have you ever stopped to wonder how our ears work? And what is going on inside there? Well, let's do a bit of discovering and thinking about what is inside our ears. I've got a drum here and it's going to help us to understand how sounds travel into our ears and all the way to our brains so that we can hear them. When I hit this drum, it causes the air to vibrate, and those vibrations travel all the way into my ear. That's why my ear is this nice funnel shape so that sound can travel in really easily. The sound travels into the ear along the ear canal until it hits the eardrum. That's right, just like my drum here, there's a drum inside your ear. It has a bit of skin like this which can vibrate. And those vibrations are then passed on to some more bits of the ear. The first bit to receive those vibrations after the eardrum is a tiny bone. It's called the malleus bone. It passes the vibrations onto another bone, the incus bone, and finally onto a third bone, the stapes bone. From there, those vibrations still have a long way to go. They travel into the cochlea, which is a spiral shape filled with liquid. And from there, they can be changed into messages that are carried along the nerves all the way in to your brain. And then your brain has to work out what you are hearing. And all of that happens super fast. That's because we have got amazing ears. Did you know there is a nerve that goes all the way from your ears to your tongue? It means that your ears can help with your sense of taste. In fact, some people have found that if they are struggling with their hearing or losing their hearing, it also affects their sense of taste. Now, do you remember that tiniest bone I told you about? The stapes bone. In fact, that bone is only 3.3 millimeters long. It's the smallest bone in the whole body. But without it, we wouldn't be able to hear. One last fact for you. I think this is my favorite fact. Your ears don't just listen. They also help you with your sense of balance. That's why if you've ever got water in your ears after going swimming, or you've ever had an ear infection, you might have found yourself feeling a little bit dizzy. So, let's see how well your ears are working today with a bit of a game.
Good morning, everybody. Our ears can hear lots of different sounds. Let's see if you can guess what made all these different sounds. Well, what made that sound? Yes, it was peeling a banana. Well, what made that sound? Yes, it was my vacuum cleaner. Well, what made that sound? Well, what made that sound? Well, what made that sound? I was typing on my keyboard. Did you guess turning a light on and off? I do hope you had fun playing the game. Did you get them all right?
Today's story is all about somebody who was really great at listening. It comes from the Old Testament, around 1,000 years before Jesus was on the earth. It was a time when God's people, the Israelites, had no king to lead them, and they were being attacked by the Philistines. God had a lot of messages to share with his people because they weren't behaving the way he wanted them to. Samuel was born, and God used him as a prophet, a messenger, to share some of the things that God had to say.
Oh, hello, I'm Samuel.
Now Samuel was serving in the temple.
I'm so busy, I've got lots of jobs to do. I'll see you all later.
Oh, here comes Eli.
Hello, I'm Eli.
Now, Eli the priest loved Samuel like his own son, and he took care of him at the temple as Samuel learnt to serve God.
Where is young Samuel? I must tell him it's time for bed.
Later that night, Samuel was lying fast asleep in the temple. Suddenly, he heard a voice. "Samuel! Samuel!" said the voice. Samuel thought Eli was calling him, and he got up and he ran into Eli's room.
Here I am, Eli. What did you want? Boy, I didn't call you. Go back to sleep. It's the middle of the night.
So Samuel went back to bed and lay down again. "Samuel, Samuel," said the voice again. Now Samuel had never heard from God before, and he had no idea who was speaking. So, for the third time, he went back to Eli.
Here I am, Eli. You called me. I didn't call you. Samuel, I think God is speaking to you. Go and lie down in your bed, and if you hear the voice again, say, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening."
"Samuel, Samuel," said the voice.
"Speak, Lord, your servant is listening."
God talked to Samuel a lot after that, and Samuel listened to God. And when he grew up, everyone listened to him. They knew he would tell them what God said.
We can get messages in so many different ways. We can use email and Skype and WhatsApp and texts and Zoom. So many different ways to send and receive messages. But we all need to be able to listen when we are given messages. We need to be able to listen when we hear exciting messages like "Happy birthday" or "Really well done." And we also have to be able to listen when we receive messages we don't really like. Messages like a teacher telling you to stop talking or telling you that you've done something wrong. The message that Samuel had from God was a really hard message to hear and a really difficult message to share with Eli. But Samuel knew he had to be brave and honest and tell Eli what God had said. Christians believe that God can still speak to us today. We might not hear a big loud voice like Samuel did, but God can still speak into our hearts and into our minds, or maybe speak to us through other people. I wonder who some of the people are in your life who you listen to and ask for advice. When things are difficult, who are the people that you talk to? It could be your parents, your teachers, or your friends. Have a think about a time when maybe you've had to share a message that was really difficult. Perhaps you've had to say sorry when you've hurt or upset somebody or done something wrong. It can be a really tough message to share. Or maybe you've been on the other side. Somebody has come to say sorry to you and you have had to forgive them. Let's take a moment now together and reflect on everything that we've thought about today.
Let's say a prayer now. We're going to put our hands together. We're going to close our eyes or put our eyes down. Dear God, thank you that you speak to people. Help us to listen carefully to the people who care for us. Help us not to be afraid when we're asked to do something that is hard. Give us strength and courage to do the right thing. Amen.
Today, can you be like Samuel? Can you be bold and brave and someone who speaks the truth to everybody who's listening?